Ow, ow, ow. Doing Coyote today, 5 liter. So as you can see, this truck is pretty wrecked. It's pretty dirty under here. I think he just took it whaling, so here we go. All right, so essentially I went for the front first. Pulled a 10mm nut on here, a 13, and a 13 wrench down here, and another 13. So there's some bolts and nuts in here, but got that one undone with a trim tool. I'd worked on the front first, pulled a filter and drained. So I'm gonna start working on getting the harness loose and getting this cross member out. You're gonna take a 15 wrench and an 18 socket on the other side. Okay, so you're gonna have a clip up here where the wiring harness sits on it. You need to get that out, okay? And I used a long pair of needle nose to get that, okay? There's also another wiring loom clip right there. As for the lines, just get the front, and there's a 13mm bolt that's right there. That is really long. I just used an electric ratchet and ran it out. But you basically disconnect your entire pan here. It is dirty under here, bro. Somebody been out wheeling. And disconnect your level sensor, and you're gonna want to start shooting some bolts. When you lower this down, it can sit on the mount right here, but keep your jack on it just for safety purposes, and make sure you take out your sway bar so that it's hanging down, okay? That's what you're gonna have to remove, at least lower the sway bar so you can get some room. Okay, so what you're gonna do is drop your diff low on a jack, just like Chevy. One thing I will tell you is you're gonna have a bolt that's right there. You see that bolt hole? That is the last bolt you need for the diff. And if you're not able to get it down, there's one that goes this way with a wing to catch. There's one on this side, and there's one up in the top. You have to get the top one. It's an 18mm, and use maybe one long extension, like a 10-inch or a 6-inch on an impact gun, and you'll get it. But as you can see, I'm out. This is probably the dirtiest dang Coyote I've seen in a while, bro. I was like, damn, you've been off-roading this thing. The whole thing just smoked out. So I got the pan pretty much done, as you can see right here. So, you know, it comes with some of these to hold them in, but I run zip ties, bro. I do the same thing with Ford that I do with Chevy, and I just get it in there. I sink like 2 on each side, and I start clipping ties and just getting it seated. So, yep, we're about to hit this thing back in there. All right, I'm just gonna talk my way through this because I'm already done, and I had to wash up a little bit because that was bad, okay? When you're getting that diff back in, I'm going to tell you a little trick that's going to save you a lot of time, okay? Get yourself like 2 or 3 Phillips screwdrivers or longer picks, okay? And as you are putting that thing into place, it's not going to shift into the mount very well. So the passenger side, get a screwdriver through the mount, okay? And then pick it up and use a bar in between the differential and the mount brace for the cross brace, and pry up, and then jack it up into the mount, and then stick a screwdriver through the front, that front mount bolt, and you're going to be able to wiggle it a little bit better to get that first bolt in that's on the driver's side facing the back of the truck. Okay, that's how I did it. I used 2-3 screwdrivers and did it that way, and kind of shimmied my way around and jacked it up into place so I could sink it. If you don't do that, you are going to be fighting this thing tooth and nail getting that freaking diff back in, bro. You're going to be fighting it tooth and nail while it's down, okay? This is something I would recommend. While you have that diff down and you have a 4-wheel drive, get yourself an oil pressure sensor and do the oil pressure sensor from the bottom on the 4-wheel drive model, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to do it from the top. You can do it even with the alternator still in. But do that and get that done. Buy sway bar bushings, because you're probably going to need some new ones. I just do them anyway. But that's what I do, okay? So and do your diff fluid. You could do your diff fluid while it's lower, and it's a little easier, okay? But my main thing is that getting that thing back into the appropriate mounting position isn't easy. You're going to want 3 picks or 3 screwdrivers and just Phillips and try and wiggle it in there, and you can manipulate it with the jack and the bar and kind of shimmy it into place and sink some bolts. Okay, tools that you're going to need. Okay, buy yourself a 21 millimeter swivel socket, because that 21 millimeter mount bolt is going to be a lot easier if you have an impact, a 6 to 10 inch extension, and a 21 swivel. You'll be able to run that thing out way easier. Okay, the other thing, make sure you have an 18 deep socket and you have like 10 inch extension or a 6 inch with a 3 inch on it, something like that, to try and run those out, because you're going to need pretty long extensions to run those mount bolts out. Okay, I'm going back to actually work on his truck to do a coolant issue. It's eating coolant, it's leaking coolant, it's a crossover pipe most likely, and probably some O-rings, and he's going to have me do a water pump. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff on the Coyote, but this is just a short video really quick. Some tips that will save you a lot of time. Okay, use the zip tie method too. I think that works better.